one and only Mike Gallagher Show.
These days, the only thing I have to come up with is what we should focus on when we've got so much coming at us at once. Look, it is a time to be alive. Erica Kirk announced yesterday that she had a productive meeting with Candace Owens. And I had a friend of mine say, "You going to talk about the meeting, Mike?" I'm like, well, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what they discussed. The way Fox News reports on this meeting, this is a possible thaw in the relationship between Charlie Kirk's widow and the online provocateur, Candace Owens, who used to be, of course, very tight with Charlie. I'm a little baffled by what Candace wrote regarding the meeting. She said, Erica and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting. Of course, we agreed much more than I had anticipated. We also disagreed on various points and people as well. I'm just wondering, what could they be disagreeing about? What's there to disagree about? Charlie Kirk was killed. What points of disagreement could there have been? Anybody's guess. I have no idea. Meanwhile, the FBI thwarted what could have been a nightmarish New Year's Eve terrorist attack. 4 Antifa-type far-left progressives were arrested. They're anti-capitalist. They're pro-Palestinian. My friend Kevin McCullough wrote a very compelling article at Town Hall. Look, we got a war going on right now, and we've got Islamic terror that is here. And what frustrates me is the Islamic terrorism that we're facing is met with resistance by people who don't want to acknowledge what it is we're up against. Did you see this Brown University press conference yesterday? Holy cow, it was unbelievable. The Providence, Rhode Island officials still won't say what the Brown University gunman shouted before attacking, killing 2 young people on the campus of Brown University. One of them, Ella Cook, was the vice president of the Brown County Republicans. Now, somebody posted on social media, William Branson Donahue, I'm told she was allegedly targeted for her conservative beliefs, hunted and killed in cold blood. Losing Charlie Kirk 3 months ago rocked our worlds. The entire college Republicans community at Brown is weeping, learning of the news. This is an attack on our family. This is a horrific, horrific tragedy. And Kevin McCullough writes it was Islam again, certainly talking about Australia. But what about what happened at Brown? Was that an Islamic terror attack or not? You've got to hear this. This is the press conference where reporters were saying, well, what did the guy say? I mean, this reminds me of that awful Ilhan Omar who famously said of 9/11, well, some people did something. So now we know that the gunman shouted something. What did he shout? The authorities won't say.
Now, there's a report the shooter yelled something right before his shot came in. Can you tell us what that was?
Yes, part of the investigation, Johnny moved. Yeah.
Now, the only reason I ask that, though, is, for instance, like with the Unabomber, his brother recognized the writing. So it's possible a friend or family member might recognize if the person said something that was significant.
Correct.
That's why you don't, other than the 9mm, is there anything else inside that auditorium that you could tell us?
No, that's correct. And listen, like I said earlier, investigations will bring us to evidence that we need to collect in order to be able to prosecute. With that being said, we're going to continue to collect evidence, and if it leads us to something to that nature that's going to be extremely helpful for us to identify somebody, we'll be the first ones to put it out.
Alex.
Follow up on John's question. Did the suspect yell, like has been reported, and there's been some erroneous reporting, but did he yell when he came to the classroom? And how valuable have witness statements been from those who survived?
Listen, my heart goes out to the victims. It goes out to the families, and I'll tell you that their cooperation has been extremely helpful. And that, with that being said, we'll continue, and I'm gonna respect the fact that, and I hope that they get better. And my heart and soul goes out to them. So,
Did he yell though? Did somebody
so that's
say
something that we're investigating. We took statements, and we have to confirm that.
So, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Time to wrap it up. Stop asking us what he said, because we're not going to tell you. What in, pardon my language, what the actual hell is going on in Providence, Rhode Island? And you know that what we're all thinking, but we could be wrong. Maybe he didn't say Allahu Akbar before he killed these two young people. It got worse. This press conference goes completely off the rails. The mayor there evidently wanted you to know how tired he is during this investigation.
President Donald Trump has said that Brown University is to blame for this shooting, saying it's the school's problem. Is that a fair criticism, or do you disagree with what the president said?
I don't think it's fair criticism.
Colonel, can you expand on that?
Why not? Because Brown University is not collaborating with you guys. You're lying to the press over here. They have facial recognition. We know that because they follow the students, they follow everybody in the neighborhood. Facial recognition. They need to release that data so everybody know who the guy is in video. We got the video Saturday. Why you guys release the video today?
Governor,
this is the question.
Listen,
Colonel, I have just a question.
John, please, just for a second. A couple things. First of all, Brown University and Brown Public Safety, Brown Police Department has been a close collaborator throughout this process.
That's not true.
I do not accept that criticism.
No, come on. We know that.
Secondly, everyone you see behind us, we've all been working for now 49 hours. We're tired.
We're tired. We're tired. Well, please take a nap, okay? If you need to get some sleep in order to catch the guy, please get 40 winks. Please, because we don't want you to be tired, Mr. Mayor. We want you to catch the monster who did this. My gosh. You know, I'm as pro-law enforcement as you'll find. But to see this incompetence play out in real time, imagine being the family members of these two victims and having to hear that crap. These officials still want... Can you give me a theory as to why they won't tell the world what the shooter said? How do we not know what the shooter said? Were there witnesses? Yep, I've seen all the reports that he allegedly said Allahu Akbar. You think that's relevant? It kind of matters, doesn't it? Because of all the motives of every crime in the world under the sun, I think we understand if somebody commits murder right after saying Allahu Akbar, we know what the motive is. You know, think about that. With every crime imaginable, you could sit around and theorize, well, I wonder why. Wonder why he did that. You don't have to wonder why if somebody's saying Allahu Akbar. My gosh. If you can give me a good theory as to why the authorities there in Providence, Rhode Island, will not share with the public what the killer said, I'm all ears. 1-800-655-MIKE. Flood the zone. Make sure you light up my phone lines like a little Christmas tree here in this Christmas week, the week before Christmas in the Relief Factor Studios as we welcome you into another episode of the Mike Gallagher Show. 800-655-6453. I hope you join, because I get that they've got to keep some aspects of the investigation close to the vest. On the other hand, they got to get the guy. They have to catch him. They had a person of interest, and then they let him go because they said he wasn't a person of interest anymore. What a nightmare. 800-655-MIKE.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.